I'm here with a Mentor Me Live case study. I'm so excited to welcome one of my mentees, Dearra, to my live today. Dearra finished the Mentor Me Accelerator about a month and a half ago, and I am so excited to have her join us live today to talk about her glow up, her level up, and just her expertise in marketing as a marketing professional, and how she leveraged that expertise and grew her expertise and development through the Mentor Me Accelerator. Dearra is a newer professional and came to me having several years of experience in the marketing field, but not really having secured high-paying full-time positions. She had really struggled with her ability to move up in the industry, to position herself as an expert, and to really command the kinds of salaries that she really desired to command. And through working with me, through the Mentor Me Accelerator, through applying the strategies that she learned in the program, I was able to help her secure a management level role, even as a newer professional, and a $35,000 salary increase. Just throw some hearts up on the screen if you're excited to hear from Dearra today and for her to share her story. I am so hyped to invite her into this live and invite her to talk with you all about her experience in the Mentor Me Accelerator. Hey, Dearra, so good to see you.
Hey, Ashley.
Congratulations. I'm so hyped to talk to you this afternoon, and so excited to celebrate you and your new role, and just the growth and development I've seen in you in our time in working together.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here and just tell a little bit more about, what I'm doing and, how I got here.
So let's dive in.
Yes.
I posted just a graphic of you and I just announcing today's live. And I got the caption from just the first conversation we had. And I remember you telling me, like, I feel like I'm going backwards. Like, it had been a year since you had been laid off from your former full-time role. Like, we were at the height of COVID. There was a lot of anxiety and just like feeling a lot of frustration about like where your career was going. And I think you were also experiencing some like, am I going to be able to get back or advance beyond the level that I was previously at? So can you first kind of talk to folks a little bit about like when you were considering mentorship, or you were like realizing like, yikes, my career is not where I want to be right now. Like, what was going through your mind? Like, where were you at in your life, in your career, when you started to consider expert level mentorship?
Yeah, going back, that was when July of last year. I just felt like I had the scarcity mindset that I needed to pick something to support myself. Anything. If it was marketing, that was perfect. If not, I would do what I need to do to make sure those bills are paid. So I was working in a job. I was, it was nice having the job, but I knew when I went into it, it was going to be just a contracted position, nothing more, nothing less than that, paying less, and doing work that wasn't really fulfilling. So subconsciously, I didn't know subconsciously, I knew I needed a mentor. Consciously, I feel like I thought I knew what I was doing. I felt confident in the role. But then I seen your post and I was like, this is interesting. I think I may need a mentor. I'll say it every now and then on Twitter or however, like, maybe I do need something, someone to leverage my skills. But then I was like, I feel like I'm a little stagnant right now. Like, the pandemic is here. It's been here for a few months. Maybe I could kind of transition into a different position, just, with the way the world is, especially, it was a increase in unemployment, but a lot of people were still hiring, especially marketing jobs increased tremendously because everyone started to migrate online.
Yep.
So I was like, hey, why am I settling for this job when I can actually be getting something else, you know, a
Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
job, something I really want to do. So,
Hmm.
yeah, so that's kind of
Yeah,
how
and I
I
love
found
that
you.
perspective of like what you
Yeah.
talked about. Like you were like you were working. Like when we first started working together, you had a job. You were working, but it was
Yes.
part-time, it was contract, and you were like looking at the landscape like it's jobs out here. I could be doing better
Mm-hmm.
for myself. I could be making more money. I could be working full time. I could be leveling
Yes.
up. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
I love that you talk about that because I think the same thing is going on right now in the marketplace, right? Like there's this great resignation. So many people are leaving jobs. So many people are shifting to, staying at home or, doing in-home businesses or whatever. So there are a lot of really outstanding job opportunities out there. And I think like a lot of people who are watching today's live can relate to this idea of like, oh, I've watched one of Ashley's lives before. Maybe I need a mentor. Maybe I should consider this. Maybe this, maybe that, like definitely on the fence, kind of thinking about it, unsure, like not quite bought in. So like what shifted you from, yeah, maybe I need a mentor. Maybe I do need to take advantage of everything that's going on in the field right now. So you know what? I'm taking immediate action and I'm investing in the accelerator. What was the shift for you from like, oh, I watch her live. She cute. That's interesting to like, oh no, I need to work with her.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a woman of God, so I believe my faith definitely drives my actions, whatever I do. And whenever I feel something and it doesn't leave me alone, that's when I'm like, okay, maybe I should act on it. So when I see one of your posts about, you were accepting new applications, I seen it, I left it alone. But then you kept on like popping up on my feed for like 2 weeks straight. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to reach out and see if this is something that is, for me. And it was. So, yeah. And I met you, when did I meet you?
We
Three,
first
four
met in like
years ago?
2017, so 16, 17.
Yes. Yes. And the crazy thing is, I didn't really see any of your posts between that time until recently of last year. So I knew it was a sign because, I mean, for a reason of just all these years, not really maybe seeing a post or two, but then consistently
I was
a
showing up
few,
for you.
yeah, showing up a few times a week. I was like, okay, this is for me for sure.
Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that. And I think that that's true for a lot of my prospective mentees, right? Like they watch me, they see me in the atmosphere, like I pop up on their feed occasionally, and they've been considering mentorship. They're unhappy in their work, or they know they desire to be paid more, or they're ready to transition careers, and they're waiting, kind of waiting for a sign or waiting for the opportunity to take action. And I'm so glad that you did. And I think that what you described is this like idea that like, if someone is consistently showing up for you for free, like if somebody on the internet is consistently providing you with value, showing up for you for free, like providing you with consistent knowledge and support and strategies to advance your career, that's how you know you're in a position to make an investment. Because it's like if they're showing up this consistently for free, right? Like and providing this much value, just think about the exponential support that you're going to get once you make an investment. More personalized and get more personalized support, through a program. So I'm so glad that you kind of walk through that and talk to people about that. And so I want to sort of just contrast the difference between, like you maybe likely had mentors before in your career, or maybe, you were kind of job searching on your own or thinking about advancing your career before Mentor Me. Can you talk a little bit about, the difference between maybe what you were kind of doing in your career development before you joined Mentor Me and how entering into Mentor Me was different, like between what you were kind of doing on your own or without mentorship?
Yeah, so I had a mentor 2 years ago. And I feel as if we established a great relationship, still really close with her, and appreciate all of her knowledge in the marketing industry. Um, it was a little different. I felt as if it was more me coming and just having certain issues that I'm going through and just kind of talking through them and not really putting any action behind them. So I think that was a huge difference. And she felt as if I was good. I should be thankful with position I have at this moment. This is when I had my full-time job,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kept telling her I want more. I want to help people in a different way. I'm not sure if this position is for me. And she was like, well, think you should be grateful for where you are, and kind of staying in that space. So it was kind of hard for me to navigate conversations with her because she felt as if I should be, settled in what I'm doing, take it all in, and that's it. So I think it was a difference. You definitely stretched me and created a lot of not being comfortable, which I love. I don't want to be comfortable anywhere I go. But one thing that really stood out to me is when I think it was a post, or you said it when it was one of the sessions about applying for jobs that I believe 70% you are, have the skills for.
Yeah.
And I never heard that before. I thought I had to apply for jobs that I had 100% skill set for. So when you said that, I was like, really? Should I really be, having those type of jobs? Am I valuable to have, apply for those jobs? So definitely creating more confidence and in my skills. So that's one thing that I really appreciate.
I'm so glad that you talk about that. And like, for those of you who are just joining the live, I think what Dearra is describing is this like really transformational experience that my mentees have in the accelerator, where maybe, and just let me know if you can relate, just like type a 1 in the comment box if you can relate to the fact that, like, you maybe feel unfulfilled in your work and you feel like you desire to do more, you desire to make more money, you desire to have more impact, you want to be able to serve your community, your clients, your customers, your students in a more impactful way, but everybody's telling you, oh, you good, girl, you lucky to have a job, just keep plugging along, you got to stay there for 2 years before you move up, you can't just be transitioning all these kind of careers. People gonna think badly about you. They gonna think you inconsistent. They gonna think that you're not a team player, right? Just type a 1 in the chat if you've experienced that kind of feedback from mentors or people in your life, your partner, maybe even your current boss or coworkers. They're like very much dissuading you from advancing your career. And Dre the Beast said yes, like this is happening to them. And I think that this is common, particularly among high achieving women, right? Like we are high achieving, and people in our life don't always understand that. They can't always relate to that. They kind of quiet our, they try to quiet or tamp down our ambition and our goals, and they mean well, right? Like they're not like evil. They don't hate us. They don't want to see us not do well. It's just that their fear and their anxiety about, what we should or could be doing they will project their fear, shame, guilt, whatever onto us. And then it has us shook and scared and nervous about what's available to us. And that is what's special about the Mentor Me Accelerator, is that, like, I'm not teaching, like, I'm not here to like help you dream or find your dream job. We are going to apply practical and intentional strategies to help you find and secure a new role, to help you make more money and have more impact. And we're going to leverage the skills and knowledge and expertise that you already have. And it's not going to be a dream. It's not going to be a wish. It's not going to be a hope. We're going to take action. And you already knew, like you said, that like, I have more to give. I can do more. Like I want to do more. And that desire, right, to do more, I just helped enable that, right? I helped bring that out of you. I helped like light a fire under that. And so I'm so glad that you can speak to that. And the strategy that you're talking about is something I teach in session 4. It's called the 70% rule. And so it's a strategy that helps my mentees uncover roles that are best fit for them based on their skill sets, their values, and then they match that across job postings. And we'll talk more about some of those strategies here in a moment. So before we get more into the strategies, I want to talk about like coming into the Mentor Me Accelerator, right? Like you came into this small group, mentorship program. Talk to me a little bit about maybe some of the fears or concerns you had, like investing in mentorship and going into small group mentorship. Like what were some of your fears and anxieties, and how, like, and then what was the reality? Like you had some fears, you maybe had some concerns, but then what was the reality on the other end? Like what did you actually experience in the program?
Yeah, so first off, investment for sure. Working a part-time job, it was like, can I actually afford this? Is this something that I should be doing? But I believe in quality. You know, you have to pay for it. Simple as that. I could go somewhere else, but will I have the same impact? Will I have the same quality mentorship? So I just went for it. When it came to that, you know, I made sure my finances were good before this, but it was definitely worth it. And when it comes to fears coming into a small group, I felt not intimidated, but I knew I would probably be one of the youngest in there.
Yep.
So just going in there like, I'm young. Some people are like, oh, you're young. You know, you're doing so great to be, 26 and stuff like that. And I'm just like, well, I'm just afraid. I just, want to do the best that I can. So just being around women that I know are high achieving, and I'm just kind of getting started in here, was a little fearful, but they were so welcoming. Still, create those relationships that migrated into not Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So we check in on our, our the things that we're doing, and
Yep.
just making sure we have the jobs that we're looking at and things like that. So still establishing those solid relationships is so important, and I'm glad I met the ladies on there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that what you described is two of the biggest women have in working with me, the investment. Like, oh my gosh, you want me to pay for help? Right? Like, oh my gosh, even though I have degree after degree that I pay for and maybe still paying for, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm gonna have to pay for mentorship. So I think that does freak some people out, and I appreciate you being vulnerable enough to say that it was a fear for you too, but you knew to get the level of support that you needed, you were gonna have to make an investment, and I'm so glad that you did.
Yes.
And child, it paid off. I mean, I think
yes, it
we're
did.
probably at about 400% return on investment.
Okay, yes, exactly.
Right, so
and I
it
knew
definitely
I was like,
paid.
yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go in here and I know I'm gonna get a good job. I knew, I had that faith. I was like, I'm gonna come into this, do what I need to do, like have my notebook, I'm ready to work, and I'm gonna make sure this pay off.
Right, and it paid off big time.
Yes,
I'm talking
big
about
time. Yes.
big
I'll
time,
do it
and I
again.
love that. And I think the other thing that you talked about is like, small group mentorship. A lot of people are like, oh no, Ashley, I'm special and different. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm this, I'm that. Ain't no way I can be in a small group. I'm not gonna be able to connect with the other women. Like, they ain't like me. Everybody thinks they're a unicorn, but you talked about the value in being in community with other women, how welcoming they were. And I also feel like I was able to provide each of you with highly personalized, specific, and targeted feedback. Like, and you can speak to this if you have any comments about it, but one of my mottos is to never give my mentees generic, general tips or gems. Like, I'm going to be talking to you about your career and what you need to do and what you need to stop doing, to really give you specific and targeted strategies. So did you feel like you had a high level of individualized, like personalized support that was targeted to your career?
Oh, yes. I mean, even with the videos, with the feedback, I mean, that helped. It was like, what, an hour, 40 minutes long. You going into my assignment, making sure I'm doing things correct, going back to make edits. So, yeah, that was definitely very helpful. I mean, I knew I was doing it with other women, but you definitely specialized in my needs each and every week. So,
yeah. Good. I'm so glad that you feel like that. So now let's go into the program. So, like, you joined this program, you made the investment, you're in there with other women. Talk to me about maybe 2 or 3 of the strategies that you learned in the accelerator that like really were transformative for you, or that really, like, when you were applying them, you like, oh my God, this is working. Like, this is really good. Or, oh, wow, I didn't know this before. Like, I had never even considered this. You shared one about the 70% rule, but if there are maybe 2 others that you want to share, I'd love for you to just talk about the specific and targeted strategies that you learned in the accelerator that were really helpful for you as you, earned this $35,000 salary increase.
I think another one was values. I think that was week 2 or 1.
Yeah.
Yes, 2. And getting down to the nitty gritty with that. Like, I know family's huge for me, so making sure I have time for them on the weekends or after work, having flexibility, especially now during the pandemic. So making sure I can work remotely or at least a hybrid schedule is very important to me. what else? Growth was very huge for me because I did feel like I was stagnant. So being able to create my top 5 and aligning that without me knowing, I have exactly that now. Very flexible schedule. You know, they trust me. I'm going to do my work on time. So that flexibility, I'm fully remote. So just having that, I'm growing tremendously in my role now. Like, huge difference of what I'm doing than I did before in the marketing industry, but I'm so grateful for the growth. So I will say definitely the values. What else? When you looked at my resume, it was huge.
We have some updates. There were some updates that needed to be made.
Yes. So, I mean, I know I went in with my resume very vague, very Googled. It seemed like anyone can Google my resume and find it. So very tailored to what I've been doing all these 4 years, making sure I had those quantitative. So those numbers was huge because at first I didn't have any. So just having, she did this and the result was 10% more or increase.
Yes.
That made a tremendous improvement on my resume. And I mean, I can't even go into how many people have been calling me back. I still get like calls and I haven't even been looking because of my resume. I think I have one more thing. Oh, one thing that you said, I got notes because I just want to make sure I touched on everything, was not focusing on what I did. I always felt like I should focus on what I've done in the past and bringing that to the interview. So just focusing on my skill set was definitely a mindset shift that helped me a lot to think about, even when I was at the part-time job and I felt as if like, okay, I want more. But having that impact, like you said, making sure wherever you go, you still have a big, huge impact in that organization, changed my mindset. Because right now, when I was in that part-time job, I was ready to go. That's all.
You were like, I have to get out of here.
But I was like, no, let me sit back. I'm in here. So let me make sure I still have an impact. Let me increase the open rates for email and get, 100 more subscribers before I leave. Still being able to be impactful, even though I was ready to go.
Yes. And I hope you girls are taking notes, honey, because she's basically giving you my curriculum on a silver platter in this free live. So I hope that you all are taking good notes, because yes, and the girls are going up for you in the chat. They're so excited for you, so proud of you. And thanks for helping me celebrate our girl. We're so hyped for her. And, I think that, it's those strategies, right? One of the things that I pride myself on as a mentor is that I attract very high achieving women, right? Like, even though, you're like, I was younger, like I was, on the young side, you had experience, you had knowledge, you were doing transformative work in the marketing and communication sector. You just weren't articulating it very well. You didn't know how to articulate it. You didn't know what to say about it. You were like, I do social media, I do email lists. Like, you weren't really articulating it in a way that like anybody would pay attention, because anybody can build an email list, anybody can post a social media. Like, you weren't talking about it in a way that spoke to the level of transformation that you were providing these organizations. And then once I got my hands on it, we really worked on it together to really make sure we were quantifying, we were speaking to the level of transformation, we were speaking to the what then, you did this and then it resulted in this, right? And now, like you described, employers are calling, you ain't even looking for a job. Employers are like, we would like for you to work for us, and you basically get poached here and there and everywhere. And I love that.
Yes, but yeah, I mean, even touching on that, like, I've had my head down for 4 years because I changed my major a few times, so I felt like I was kind of behind in the marketing industry. So when I got, my internships and my full-time job, I just kept my head down, getting things done without actually leveraging, like, oh my God, you did a lot. You worked a lot of different things in aspects in marketing. So definitely helped me leverage my skills for sure.
Yeah. And just throw some hearts up on the screen if you can relate to this idea. Like, I've been putting my head down. I've been doing the work. I don't really know what I've been doing at work. I don't know what impact I have. I don't really feel like I maybe even have any impact. I've been out here doing stuff, and I hope it works, right? Like, I hope that I'm doing something. just throw some hearts up on the screen if you can relate to that, because I know that a lot of women come to me feeling like that. Like, actually, I don't really know if I have any value. I don't even know if I've had any impact. I don't know if I have my degrees in this area. I don't know if it's going to translate into this area. Or I don't know if employers are going to see the work that I've been doing in this field for 4 years, see it as valuable, as I'm trying to do this, right? Like there's so much turmoil, right, that people go through trying to figure out, like, is this actually going to work for me? Am I actually going to be able to use what I have to get what I want? And so I want to ask you a couple fill in the blank questions. These will sound familiar to you because you've answered them before in your feedback form, but I want you to just answer this question. Before hiring Ashley, I thought blank. And after working with Ashley, I learned blank. So before hiring Ashley, I thought blank. And after working with Ashley, I learned blank.
Okay, so before, I felt, how can I put it in a word? Stagnant, for sure. I felt stagnant and undervalued. And then working with you, I felt valued and very confident in my skill set. Yes. Now I feel like I can, go wherever and have an impact, which I didn't feel before. So definitely that.
I love that. I love that. And so let's talk about that impact. So I want to talk about the interview process, or actually the application process, the interview process, and then, negotiations, and then onboarding into this new role. In the Mentor Me Accelerator, I teach my mentees how to job search in session 4. You're going to learn how to interview and negotiate in session 5 and session 6. I'm going to teach you first 90 days on the job. I mean, all of these strategies I teach you in the Accelerator program. So can you walk them through how you apply the strategies that you learned to find and secure this management level role at, pre-30, right? The girls can never, the girls are still trying to get to the management level. You're 26, you do this, you do that. You're running these girls. So can you explain to the people, right? Explain to the people how you applied the strategies in applying for this job, going on the interview, negotiating, just kind of walk them through that for the role that you're in now.
Yeah. So I was making sure that I was applying for at least 10 jobs a week or more. Some days I'll just continue till 9, 5, on weekends, just making sure that I'm getting as many jobs in. But of course, make sure they're quality jobs of what I'm looking for. So after I did that, I made sure, of course, my cover letter, which was huge, that you helped me with, was detailed with experiences, what I've done in the past. So I went in, put my my cover letter in, my resume in, feeling really confident. Some jobs I'll get, interviews. A lot of the marketing jobs you have to interview 3 to 5 times. So got some leads. You helped a lot with the interview process with questions. One thing that stood out to me was detailed experiences in the past. So making sure whatever they're looking for is aligned with what I did in my past, and making sure I have that qualitative data to show them, to prove that I not only did the work, but I improved, I have an impact in this, my job.
Right.
So did that, had a few fails. That's okay.
It's okay.
Interviewing.
We only looking for one job. We're
looking for one.
We don't need a lot. We just need one job.
Exactly. So it wasn't meant for me, and that's cool.
Right.
So, and this job actually, my frat brother told me about. He worked in the marketing industry. He was like, you should just apply. And one reason why I feel like I wasn't getting the jobs I was searching for was because it was for me to make a little tweak in the marketing where I want to lead, where I want to go. So I was primarily focused in social media marketing for about 4 years. Yeah. And I decided I don't really want to do that anymore. And I had to come to the conclusion of that. And it was uncomfortable because that's what I knew. I knew social media. I can tell anybody about social media marketing, but I thought I was called to go somewhere else. Yeah. So I decided to make a transition into a little bit something different called client services. So more of being the industry leader of the in my role. So having other people on different teams tasked out to do the creative that I used to sit in and do.
Yep.
And being able to be that person of that client to help them grow their business. So I was like, okay, I think I actually want to do something like that. Yeah. So I applied. Things went super quick after I put my resume in. I got hired maybe 2 weeks. I did 5 interviews.
Yes. Yes.
Which was a lot. But I felt so confident, so welcome already. And I was like, okay, I think this is what I want to do. One of the managers asked, she was like, this is a little bit different of what you're used to. Are you sure you want to, go down this path, this road? Right. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready for a little switch here. So yeah, and I'm loving it so far. Yes. Thanks to you, Ashley, for helping me get into this confident role. And I'm not at the manager role yet, but it is on the way. Yeah, I just have to learn their different technologies, and it's so much like my values, growth. A lot of technology softwares that I haven't really got into yet. So once I learn all of that, I will secure that role for sure.
I'm speaking it into existence.
Yes. So hopefully soon, because I have the 4 years so already of experience in marketing. So it's just learning their ways and just navigating that. So been there for a month now. So
yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, when I got your email, so Dearra emailed me on August 11th, and she was like, I wanted to notify you that I officially start my full-time marketing position next Monday. I was freaking out. I got this email. I immediately turned on my camera because I wanted to capture my reaction. And I'll post after I post today's live. I'll also post my a little bit of my reaction video, because she was like, they're gonna fast track me to the managerial position, managerial role. And I just could not be more proud. As a mentor, I have the privilege, right, of serving high achieving women across corporate, nonprofit, and educational leadership. I serve women of all ages. I mean, I've had mentees who are 22 to mentees who are 70, but I really love working with younger women because I think that it's just really exciting, because I think a lot of people would have told you, oh, you got to wait your turn. You got to pay your dues. You don't have to, you don't have enough experience. You got to go get this other degree, this other certification, learn this other technology. But you're proof. You are proof that you can use what you have at 25, 26 and get exactly what you want out of your career. And I'm so grateful that you trusted me with your career. I'm so grateful that you were vulnerable enough to be honest with me about what the pain points were, what you were struggling with. And I'm so proud of you for this amazing outcome that you had. You are a rock star, an absolute expert, and I have no doubt that it's only up from here. So before we close out the live, I just want to share with folks, if you have questions, feel free to type them in the comment box. Use the little question arrow as well. We want to answer your questions. We want to make sure that you feel fully supported as you hear this amazing success story. But I wanted to ask you, for women who may be following me, maybe on my email list, maybe attended some of my lives, and they thought about investing in professional mentorship, but they're on the fence, what would you say to those women? What would you say to a woman who's on the fence about investing in herself and in her career development?
Yeah, I mean, it's really about your priorities and where you see yourself. I see myself as the industry leader in marketing, and dominating it, because we need more people of color in marketing, in other industries. But yeah, so I knew that the level I need to get to, I don't have that in my notebook. I don't have that on Google. I can't Google Ashley expertise, so I knew I had to invest in it. It really depends on, are you comfortable where you at, or are you willing to take that leap of faith and invest in, something that is going to pay off? And I'm for sure, I will do it again. I will spend the money again, just to make sure, okay, I'm ready for that next level and I need help. Just being vulnerable and saying, I need help. I don't know the answer. I know kind of where I want to go, what I want to do, but I need someone that's been in this, this game more than I have to help me out for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you did. I think that's an important message for folks, like, what are your priorities? Like, right.
Yeah.
Like if your priority is family, how can you stay stuck in a role that's allowing you to be underpaid and not be able to, spend time with your family on vacation or pay for things for them because you are not making enough money? Or let's say you value growth, like you said, but you've been stuck in the same job for 4 years or 7 years or 10 years, not making any more money than you were before, right? Like, it's about priorities. And if your fulfillment, if your happiness, if your joy, if your career, if your family, if those are real values, then you need to make an investment to match the level of your values. And so I'm excited to invite anyone who's watching this live or those who might be catching the replay to apply to the accelerator today. It's mentor-me.org. And you can go right on my website. The first link will give you access to my calendar, and you can schedule that call right away. So close us out, Dearra. What any other advice you want to share? Any other strategies you want to promote from the accelerator? Anything else you want to say to the people who are watching this live, who thought about working with me, who may be still on the fence, or just anything you want to say about the accelerator program or about Mentor Me in general?
I'll say just get your applications in, reach out to Ashley for sure. I mean, this has been something transformative, changed my thought process of how I felt as a career in my career, and as an industry leader. And I wouldn't have gotten where I am now without Ashley expertise, to be honest. I mean, I can do my own push, but you need someone who has the expertise if you're ready to take yourself to the next level, your career to the next level. I mean, I knew I had certain goals that I was trying to get. I want my own apartment. I want to increase my savings and stuff like that. I knew what I had, the part-time job I had was not going to, allow me to reach certain short-term and long-term goals. So I'll just say, definitely go for it. Make the investment. It'll definitely pay off.
Yes. I'm so, again, so proud of you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's live. Telling your success story just helps me get hyped and excited about helping other women see this kind of success. A $35,000 salary increase is major. Being on the management track is major. Like, branching out and growing and developing as a young professional is just major. And you're proof that, like, it can happen, right? Like, you're proof that if you make the investment, that it can be returned to you. Your proof that it works if you work it, right? Your proof that Mentor Me works if you work it. Honey, you worked it.
Thank you. Yes.
You worked it. Thanks so much for joining today's live. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box. I'll be answering questions there throughout the week. So take immediate action and apply to the accelerator today at mentor-me.org. The link is also in my bio. Thank you so much for watching. Dearra, thank you so much for joining. I can't wait to just see that where you're up. You're only up from here.
Yes, I'll be emailing you in a few months with the,
Okay. I love it. Talk soon.
With the increase. Bye.
Bye.